It's a competition. It's not even. Yeah, I'd like to do it. I'd like to do it. I'm representing very. Not about getting down these year, but I think.
Good morning, everyone. It is approximately 10:09, and we are here to start our Kane County Development Committee. Clerk, please take the roll.
Berman,
Herman's here.
Doherty,
Here.
Iqbal,
Present.
Kenyon, Linder,
Linder here.
Davis, Caius,
Caius present.
Williams,
Williams here.
Ford. An in-person quorum.
All right, so we have a request for remote attendance by Darty and Linder. Are there any objectors? Seeing none, welcome aboard. We need to move on to approval of minutes from April 16th, 2024.
Mr. Chair, this is Caius. I would ask for unanimous consent for the minutes of April 16th, 2024.
Any objectors?
Nope.
Seeing none. I think all our public comments, unless we have someone online, are all about the one agenda item that we do have. So seeing that, you get a chance to speak at that moment. I believe I'm okay with that, Mark. Is that right?
Mhm.
All right. Monthly financial reports, I believe are on file. Any questions or comments? All right, seeing none. We're gonna move on to our building and zoning division. Good morning.
Good morning. You'll be happy to know we only have one zoning petition this morning. Building permit activity, no surprise this time of year, is up, both in single-family homes and all sorts of projects that folks are doing to improve their properties, to make their homes a better place to enjoy. So we're keeping busy. Happy to answer any questions.
Any questions, comments?
Anything in particular we're seeing? Just over to improve households?
A lot of outdoor pools, pool pavilions are now really popular. And include, as an accessory structure. We're seeing a lot of that, a lot of accessory structures, a lot of elaborate patio systems. People are enjoying, the outdoors at home. Also happy to announce we're currently fully staffed.
All right. All right, so any other questions? Seeing none, let's move on to our first petition, petition number 4631.
Okay, and can you put the newer PowerPoint up? Thank you. We have one petition this morning, petition 4631, Michael Vandra, for a special use in the F district for a community solar project.
Pointed towards.
Gave you a thumb drive with the new one. Okay. Oh, there we go.
It's Dale's.
Okay, sorry for the delay. Here's a PowerPoint. This is here's one updated slide from what's in your packet, which I'll make sure I point out when I get to it. Now, this is a location of the parcel overlaid on the 2040 land use plan. It's area shown partially for resource management area, which is a wide variety of uses. And for agriculture, the entire parcel is outlined in red. The area actually being rezoned for the proposed special use solar field is in the golden hatch colored. Here's a close-up. You can see I-88 is just to the east. Here it is located on the 2040 land use plan in terms of where it is in the county, just a little bit west of Route 47 and south of 88 as it goes through that part of the county. Here it is in the conceptual land use strategy. It's just into the area for food farm and small towns, close to the critical growth area through that part of the county. Here it is on the zoning map. You can see there's quite a few special uses in the vicinity. Most of those are for gravel mining or other non-farming activities along 88 and CB Road there. Here it is on the aerial. You can see the dominant land use around this site is farming, except for the mining and other uses just to the west and to the north. There's another close-up of the property. You can see the only other existing activity there are 2 cell towers at the northeast corner. Here's a plat of survey that was submitted with the petition. This is a site plan. This would be the operating site plan for the construction if this were to be approved by the county board with the area of the solar field. You can see the panels and the fence delineated. The access just to the north of the field there. So this went to the Zoning Board of Appeals last week. There are stipulations from staff, Water Resources, their usual stipulations. I won't go through them in detail, but have to do with towards the, if it were to be approved, would be required for their stormwater permit. Again, some more stipulations from Water Resources. And the last of them. The Lisa score on this property was a 58 for this property. So it's according to that score evaluation, the tract warrants the low protection effort from development. Zoning Board of Appeals, they recommended approval with the 8 recommended stipulations. He had neglected to bring to the zoning board a stipulation from KDOT. The proposed access to be located approximately 475 feet south of the northern property line for stopping site distance. Caneville Township will permit temporary and final access. So with your motion this morning, we ask that you also incorporate that stipulation from KDOT. And it's before you this morning. There were no objectors. There are a host of folks here this morning to answer any questions. The petitioner and the attorney representing the property owner.
I would move we approve.
We got a motion by, do we have a second? Kenyon motion, Berman seconded. All right, any want to speak up about, brings a little outline?
For the record, I believe Shep Rose State's attorney, the motion was to approve with these additional stipulations.
Yes, yes. That's what you said, Mr. Kenyon. That's what you said, right? That's what I thought. Okay.
That's what I heard.
Yeah, exactly.
Lender here.
I'm really here just to answer any questions. This stipulation here, number 9, Ms. Hohertz from KDOT advised me of that early on, and the road is located in accordance with that. My name's Scott Osborne. Sorry, I'm the developer from Turning Point Energy on this project. So the location of the road, we did move it to the north. It was initially down here, and so we moved it to the north. This is the high point on this section of Orang Road. And that was it was recommended to pick that location for visibility, safety, stopping distance. So that's the most visible point on that road for that.
Could you point that out again?
Yes, sir. This is the driveway, and it is approximately 475 feet south of the northern corner per that stipulation. We initially had it farther to the south. But as KDOT pointed out, if it's farther to the south, there's a little bit, because the road rolls a little bit, the terrain rolls a little bit, there was a visibility question. So that's the highest visibility point there, which we thought was important for safety.
Any other questions? Go
Yes,
ahead.
Linda, I have a question.
Linda, go ahead.
Yeah, I saw on one of the maps, down in the more or less southeast corner, there were a couple of parcels labeled F1. I think they're homes. Do those belong to the petitioner?
They do not. It's the home of Del Calhoun and Lauren Lawson. I stopped and met with Mr. Calhoun last week, and he didn't raise any concerns. I made sure he has my contact information. I invited him to come to the ZBA last week and today, and I have not heard back from them. So I kind of assume that they don't have objections to raise. And they're aware of another project that was permitted in the corner to the southeast of them. I think that might be a new application here at the county too. But there was previously a project permitted here, diagonal southeast. That was 4 or 5 years ago, and they didn't have a significant objection to that. So I was told.
Okay, thank you. I just want to sort of applaud the developer in this case for having finally found a site that they don't have to come in here and dare us to object to the site because of the incursion in the neighborhood or the unwillingness to accommodate neighborhood needs. So this is finally one that I don't have any problem with.
The surrounding uses here make this an appropriate use for this location, I think.
I can suggest in the future you drive around a little bit before you start talking to farmers.
I'll keep that in mind.
All right. Mr. Caius?
Which begs the question, why isn't it bigger if it's got?
These projects are sized right at 5 megawatts that complies with the state's community solar standards.
Mr. Chairman?
Go ahead.
Yeah, my question is, what does the red line mean in here?
That's the entire parcel.
The boundary line?
Yeah, yes, the red line is this is a 90-acre parcel. It's odd to have a 90-acre parcel, but I think this is probably a corrective section as it's on the edge of a township. This is getting into the weeds, but the red line is the parcel line.
Okay. Now, the south line coincides with the solar panel line.
It's approximately 50 feet north of the property line. Which
Oh, it is?
Yes.
I mean, it doesn't look like it, but if it is,
Uh,
that's my question. Okay.
The site plan reflects the 50-foot setback, I think. Right there, Mark. So yeah. This is there is a 50-foot gap here between the property line where the existing trees are planted and the edge of the panels.
I see. Okay. Just an interesting layout here. Generally, the layout, the panel starts on the northern edge, closer to the northern edge, and has a lot of room on the southern side. But here you have reversed. Any reason for that?
As I recall, there was ground on the north end that looked a little more damp, like it possibly was retaining water up there, and we didn't want to be into a piece of property where it might be a little swampy.
I see. Okay. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions? Go ahead.
There any question? Rich Gerard, I represent the owner.
Just use the mic, so
I'm
they
sorry,
can hear
here.
online.
Rich Gerard, I represent the owner of the property. I thought I'd just clarify one thing. The property line parcel is a little bit irrelevant because the owner of that property owns the 700 acres all the way around it. So every property on every side of it is owned by the same owner.
Oh.
So someday when it's developed, that property line really isn't important. It's a parcel line, but it doesn't really represent ownership of any kind. So that's one of the ideal things here. It's right in the middle of 700 acres of one owner that, of course, we support the project. So thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions or comments? All right, seeing none, roll call vote.
Herman, yes.
Doherty,
Yes.
Iqbal,
Iqbal, yes.
Kenyon,
Yes.
Linder,
Linder, yes.
Davis, Caius,
Caius, yes.
Williams,
Williams, yes.
Ford.
Ford, yes. All right, moving on. We have our property code enforcement.
Good morning, Mark Van Kerkhoff again. John Mall is out today, so I'm filling in for him on his report. You have in your packet the usual report showing the data on new, active, and closed cases. And I would just mention that John and his entire team are just a joy to work with, and really making progress on addressing areas, responding to concerns that are coming in, which are more now that they're aware that we have a property code enforcement unit, but also very effective in getting quick compliance in a lot of cases, which is also very helpful, especially with the bilingual abilities of two of the team. So happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for Mark?
Get a good group.
All right, seeing none, we're gonna move on to planning and special projects.
Okay, Mark Van Kerkhoff again. Also in your packet is a summary of some of the activities of our planning division. Most of those are reported to other committees, but happy to answer any questions that you have.
Any questions for Mark? Any online? All right, seeing none, we're gonna move on to subdivisions.
We have nothing for subdivisions or environmental resources. If you could pull up the page for the Kaneland Estates PowerPoint that's in the packet, please. Thank you. We have one cost share drainage project in front of you this morning. In the Kaneland Estates subdivision, that's Kesslinger Road to the north, and it's a drain tile replacement project. If you will recall, we've had 4 cost share projects in this neighborhood. The neighborhood had decided that each individual property owner was responsible for the drainage that crossed their property. And so in this case, we are cost sharing with each single property owner and not as a group through the subdivision. So here's a map of the existing drainage system out there. To the north, you have Kuiper's Farm and the large regional detention facility that was installed as part of our stormwater ordinance. Up there, that is drained by this main drain tile that runs through the subdivision. One of our cost share projects was this project to the north with that property owner. And then the next project was to the south with this property owner. And so we have the request coming in for this intermediate section. We had televised that section about 10 years ago, and it was not in good shape. It was the original clay drain tile. And at that time, we had made several spot repairs, but it is in need of improvement, and it's really reached the extent of its useful life. The owner has obtained cost estimates, and the total project cost is $11,400, and that would be split as we have with the other residents between them 50-50 with ARPA cost share funds of $5,700 and the Kaneland Estates resident $5,700. So we're recommending approval of this Kaneland Estates cost share project today.
Can we get a motion?
You can't motion. I'm not on the.
I know.
Do
Kai,
we need Caius removed? Do we have one?
yes.
I'll second it.
All right, we got a motion second. Caius and Kenyon.
Any-
All right, so we're going to start. Go ahead. Abel. I can't hear your
Microphone.
mic, please.
Is this going forward to ARPA committee or is it done?
It was already approved through ARPA as the full cost share drainage program for the next 3 years.
So where is it going from this point forward?
Our cost share drainage approvals do not go beyond this committee.
Okay.
I just want to say I love these projects because when we talk about the quality of life, it's no more frustrating than having a little, I mean, it seems small as when we look at stormwater projects and the big, but it means a lot to these residents. Kais, go ahead.
Yeah, just the question on the funding there, it's the total project is 5,700. That's, but we were dealing with each of the property
11,000.
owner.
It's 11,400 with half of that coming from the ARPA approved cost share drainage program and half coming from the resident.
Just one resident?
Correct. Because we've cost shared with 4 other residents in that neighborhood at a 50% cost share.
Okay, so we've already done all of those, so that's. why
Yep, over the last probably 15 to 20 years.
I think I've heard this one
Yep.
before. That's maybe why I'm looking. Thank you.
How do the residents, do they play theirs outright or is there a process for them paying it?
Yes, they are contracting directly with the contractor. We have Huddleston McBride Drainage Company that inspects the work as it's going in to make sure it meets county standards. And then once the work is complete, the resident is responsible to pay the contractor and we then reimburse the resident for that cost.
All right, thank you. Go ahead.
Roth here, Jody. Whose district is this in?
Bills, our deals, it's deals.
Bill? Bill?
I'm not sure, Canelan High School area.
Dale.
Be mine.
Okay.
And then you mentioned it's currently clay. What's the average life of a clay?
About 100 years,
And-
depending on if you plant trees over it or not.
Okay, and yeah, so I'll be gone before. And what is the new technology? Are we still using clay or have we gone to plastic or?
No, we use rigid plastic, and that's why we make sure somebody's not using that really cheap corrugated stuff from
Right.
Home Depot. It's
Okay.
N12 pipe, so it's smooth on the interior, it's black, and it's corrugated on the exterior.
And what's the average life of that expected?
We would expect that to be 75 years or more. So
Okay, so
again,
not
as long
not
as
as long
somebody's-
as clay, but it's
yeah,
less
as long as
expensive.
somebody's taking care of it, it will be long beyond our lifetime.
Okay, good enough. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Are we ready to vote on this? All right, clerk.
Berman,
Berman, yes.
Doherty,
Yes.
Iqbal, Kenyon,
Yes.
Linder,
Linder, yes.
Caius,
Guys, yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Ford.
Ford, yes.
Passes? Or I'm sorry, Davis.
Davis,
Thank you.
yes.
Thank you. I thought you left.
Who? Oh, he's back.
All right, next we have our Office of Community Reinvestment.
Good morning, Mr. Board. Yes. This is Scott. On page 83 of your packet, you'll find a resolution that amends our Housing and Community Development Consolidated Plan. You might recall this is a multi-year plan. It lays out our priorities for the use of federal funds from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. Each year, we amend this plan to identify the priorities for the year ahead and to incorporate our new federal funding allocations. For program year 2024, we expect to have just over $4.3 million in new federal funding, as well as program income from prior year activities. Behind our resolution on page 86, you'll find an executive summary of our 2024 amendment, which outlines how federal funding will be used in a mix of activities in the areas of affordable housing, neighborhood improvements, and homeless services. So that concludes our overview of our resolution. At this time, we would ask you to approve this action item so that it can move forward to our executive committee.
All right, we need a motion, a second.
I'll move it.
Kenyon moves it, 8-Ball second it. Any questions or comments? So we're getting 4.3+ billion for this project, for these projects.
That's correct.
Wow. See any other questions or comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Berman,
Berman, yes.
Doherty,
Yes.
Iqbal, Kenyon.
Yeah.
Linder,
Linder, yes.
Davis,
Davis, yes.
Caius,
Guys, yes.
Williams,
Williams, yes.
Ford.
Ford, yes. All right. Is there any new business? All right, seeing none, can I get a
Ask for the reports.
force people on file, right? Yeah, I was trying to get that, thank you. Any objectives? All in favor by saying aye?
Aye.
Aye.
All right.
Well, unanimous consent.
Do we have need for executive session?
Yes.
All right. Mr. Kenyon,
Move we adjourn and thank you for showing Mr. Davis how to get through a meeting quickly.
did a good job. He got us out early now. Hold on.
I
He
told
got-
him.
You
this
gotta
is
be
how you
there in
do
the
it.
start to begin with.
Sure, Bill.
You have not.
Thank you, Mr. Ford, for running an efficient meeting.
This has
Thank you.
not lasted 1 second long.
Any objective to adjourn?
Because you're.
It's for
And,
giving us an
thank you for your
application.
time this morning. We are adjourned.